And just like that, I started agreeing with the left-leaning chant, silence is compliance. Because I'm willing to bet most people in London or anywhere else do not want to live like this, but most people are silent about it, whether it is because they do not want their friends to have a negative opinion of them, or maybe they just don't know that this is being planned. But whatever the reason, this is why it appears that the ruling class is so completely disconnected and detached to the average citizen. Of course, like one of the reasons probably is wealth and money, and the fact that they will get to feel like nobles, that they still get to drive. Like I'm willing to bet on this that while everyone isn't able, they will have a way. And they will probably still be able to eat meat and dairy. It's just that the average people, if this initiative goes through, won't be able to. And I just want you to understand, like, the huge implications. Because even if you're a vegan and you think that this is a good thing, you just don't understand how fucked London would be if this gets implemented. I mean, just think about it. Most of the economy from London is based on tourism. They have 5 fucking airports, chat. 5 fucking airports. That is where most of the wealth is coming from to London. It's not just tourism, but it's also people from other parts of the world, like from Europe, that want to go to London to work there. Like, no one wants to live in fucking London, right? But, like, most people, they do go there in order to work. So, like, if you look at an average London business, you would see that they're hiring a lot of seasonal workers, right? Now, I want you to imagine a situation where there is no dairy and meat in London. Who the fuck would go there? Would you, as a tourist, go to a place where you cannot eat meat, right? You can't have a hamburger, you can't have a hot dog, and on top of that, you can't have any cookies. Like, there's no cupcakes, there's no ice cream, there's nothing, right? Like, why on earth would you ever want to visit such a horrible place? I'm not even talking about the cars, right? Like, I assume that there may still be, like, some sort of transportation if you're a tourist. But even though, like, the public transport would be overwhelmed. Like, everyone that is driving with a car now, everyone from the street would just be put into the bus. And the people who go with the bus, they would also still be there. So you'd have, like, a double amount of people that are now using, not necessarily the bus, the subway, right? The tram, as the Brits are calling it. The tube. Yes, but, like, it's horrible, right? Like it doesn't make any economic sense. I don't even know if they have a plan for it. All I know is that they're now putting cameras in London, and if you have a car that's, like, made before a certain year, you pay a fine, right? Like, those cameras see it. So now the people are fighting back, and they're, like, taking down those cameras. They're called Blade Runners. Like, look it up on Google. It's like, again, it's just like such a bizarre thing. It is such a major disconnect between the establishment and the people. I mean, look at this. C40 cities. It's like something coming out from that video game, Half-Life. You know, like C40 cities. Like, thank you for giving them a name, so I know that I need to stay the fuck away from that fascist shit. I want to remind people, like, never throughout the entire history of mankind, like, you have so many examples to pick from, right? But never in the entire history of mankind has there been a society or of a civilization that went vegan. Like, I'm not talking about, like, one or two, no, everybody, right? Like, no one was allowed to eat meat or dairy. Ridiculous. A climate change initiative, yeah, I would say, like, a human change initiative is more likely. Spearheaded by the London mayor. Yeah, I love the expression because it's the mayor spearheading it, right? It's not the people from London, it's the mayor. And it's recommending against buying more than 3 items of clothing a year, privately owning a car, and flying more than once every 3 years. Wow, this sounds really fucking familiar, chat. It sounds like living under the Soviet Union. I'm not even kidding. Ask any person that lived in Poland, Romania, Bulgaria, or any of these other places, and they used to have a ration on how much meat you are allowed to buy, how much sugar you're allowed to buy, how much oil you're allowed to have, if you have a car, when you're allowed to drive it. Like, for example, certain cars were able to drive in null weekends, other in odd weekends. It depends on your license plate. If your license plate was an odd number, then only in the odd weekends of that month you are allowed to drive, right? So like strict restriction, population control. And again, like this is not something that is being discussed as, okay, well, we have to do it now because later on things will be good. No, it's forever. For all fucking eternity. Like you have to live like this from now on. Your children have to live like this from now on. Your grandchildren have to live like this from now on. It's absolutely bizarre and ridiculous. This is like going back to feudalism, except you don't even get the horse and carriage anymore. And people from feudalism would have eaten better than people under these C40 cities. So the C40 climate leadership groups says that they want a network of nearly 100 mayors from world's largest cities that are taking action, and they want reports by 2030. You know, I'm really glad that this isn't being implemented at once, so that the rest of humanity can look through at London and say, holy fuck, like we do not want to live like this. I don't care if the world is ending, but look at the living condition, the living standards in London, Jesus Christ. Khan, who chairs the C40 group, has received backlash from Londoners following this month's expansion. Though the C40 city initiatives under the guise of Clean Air Wins campaign has shared videos in favor of ULEZ, the Wall Street Journal this week, that less highly publicized proposal in his report, authored in collaboration with the university leads, such as no meat, no dairy, and no private vehicles. Yeah, it's kind of interesting, right? Like, if you want a private vehicle, I mean, you can't get one, but if you get voted into office as the mayor, not only do you get a vehicle and a chauffeur, you also get an entire security detail. So I guess, you know, stop being poor or get into office. Also suggests is traveling by plane only once every 3 years, which the Wall Street Journal compares to the policies of climate lockdowns. And here you get to see the progressive target in 2030 or ambitious target. Look at this shit, 16 kilograms of meat per person. I mean, by this point, it's almost like zero, right? Like how much is 16 kilograms? That would be like what, 1 kilogram and a little bit more per month? Holy shit. C40 cities employ 433 people worldwide, according to LinkedIn, with headquarters in London, and they want action now. Yeah, look at this shit. Jesus fucking Christ. Reduce ownership, right? They're not even talking about, like, gas vehicles anymore. Or they want to ban electric too, I guess, right? Like, it says so clearly. It says 0 vehicles, right? Private vehicles, 0. So they're not talking about reducing, you know, like your gas-powered car. No, like that was the first step. Like once everyone is willing to like let go of their normal car, they will be coming after your electric car to the point where you own nothing. I mean, it's like it's in this shit, right? It's like right here written down. It's not something that I'm making up. I mean, this is their decision. 50% reduction in use of metal and plastics. Okay, so from everyone needs to mask up and use your microfiber, right? Like, that's fine. I mean, if we get another pandemic, I'm pretty sure the rise in plastic is fine. But not now, for some reason. Like, masks good, other types of plastics bad. Aren't computers made with plastics or mobile phones or shit? No, like, I'm genuinely curious what exactly of the Middle Ages these people didn't like. Because, like, I want to take the mayor of London to a medieval society and ask him, it's like, would you like to live like this? No? Why not? Like, what are the advantages and disadvantages? Because, like, it does seem like they want to be little nobles in charge of a medieval society. Except, again, like, you don't get to own a horse and carriage. And on top of that, you also don't get to eat as healthy as those medieval peasants did. Let me know what you guys think, though. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.